What's up, guys? This is a new format for me. I know you guys don't see my face right now, but I'm going to, give. I- I'm kind of making my decision that I'm gonna have most of my predictions be like this for the main card, and the recap you'll see my face. That's what I'm thinking about for this card and stuff like that, and doing this format like this. And I hope you guys enjoy it. Um, I'm still evolving in my editing skills, obviously, and I'm still trying to figure this out. But and I hope you guys enjoy it, man. This is gonna be an awesome kind of like you know evolution in my YouTube career or whatever. I'm just having fun at the end of the day. But I'm gonna be talking about Curtis Blaydes versus Alexander Volkov card, and it's an interesting card, man. I really love this main card. I seen some idiot on Twitter was bashing it for no reason. I'm like, dude, this is a good card, man. If you really want to bash anything, you could probably bash that Jessica I Cynthia Cavillo card, which ended up being a good show. So you still would look like a fucking idiot, but it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, if you're a real fan, you're gonna watch all these fights, man. And if you're a fan that wants to watch the big shows, you're gonna watch the big shows. It is what it is. It's a good card. You got Bobby Green versus Clay Guida. Tisha Torres is coming back. Frank Camacho versus Matt Favola is gonna be a good fight. Roxanne Modafferi is back. Got a lot of good fights on this card, but obviously we're here to talk about these main card fights, man. And the biggest fight of the night, man. Fucking to start off, my boy Jim Miller. Personally for me, I'm a big Jim Miller guy, man. The guy is an awesome fighter. He's going up against a rising prospect in Roosevelt Roberts, man. I think Jim is in the later part of his career. Um, but Jim's beat guys like Charles Oliveira. He's beat. He's a crafty vet, man. He's a crafty vet. So depends on how Roosevelt Roberts fights. But if Roosevelt does what he did against Brock Weaver, man, he's in some trouble, man. Jim can grapple his ass off, man. And Roosevelt, I think what separates him from Jim is his hands. I think he's some really good hands on him, and if he has a lot of tendencies to he likes to play around with the cage and kind of dirty box, and I'm like, if you do that, man, with Jim, that's not a good. I don't think that's a good idea. I think if you can use the space, apply a jab, and then kind of work your way up, I think he can win that fight. But the way he was fighting against Brock, I think it's a lack of fight IQ. I think these are growing pains the kid's gonna have to go through. He's really talented, man. I will say that about Roosevelt, and I'm a believer. I think that he has something, but I think Jim still got it, man. I think he still got one more, hurrah performance. Obviously, being ranked in title contention is out the fucking window for him. But like, I think there's always them crafty vets, man. They always got one in them. They always got one good performance in them. And I think this is Jim's now. I'm gonna go with Jim Miller. A lot of y'all probably laughing at me right now, but Jim's my boy. I fuck with him. So I'm gonna go with Jim. Smart money would probably be Roosevelt, but I'm going with Jim. Then you got next fight, Liam Good versus Bilal Muhammad, man. Interesting matchup, man. You got Bilal Muhammad's a decent grappler. I think his last fight was against Curtis Melinder. Used his grappling to win that fight. Looked really good. Bilal Muhammad, I forgot the guy he knocked out, but that was a clean knockout he had, man. I forgot the cat he knocked out. And then he had a fight against Damian Maya, and he got caught. That's Damian. But I think, you know, Liam Good. He's one of them Tiger Muay Thai guys. Good sprawls and good pressure. Very offensive. Um, Strong power. So I think this is basically gonna be a grappler versus striker matchup, but both guys can hold their own in each discipline. But I think Bilal Muhammad, obviously he can do both, but I feel like he prefers to grapple, and same with Liam Good, and vice versa in terms of, like, Liam Good can grapple, but he prefers to strike, I think. And Bilal is very herky jerky. Bilal Muhammad had a good performance against Jeff O'Neal, man. Even though Jeff won that fight, dropped him a few times, he was able to do some good things for taking him down and using a lot of pressure and giving him different looks. Letting him know it's not this is not just a striking match. I can obviously grapple too. So there's a lot of good things Bilal could do, but I think Liam he's a monster, man. I really do think this kid is good, man. He impresses me every time I see him. I watch him. And he gets better every time. So it's like I'm gonna go Liam Good. I think he's gonna get the knockout. But I like Bilal Muhammad too, man. Then you got Raquel Pennington versus Manu Reneau. Uh, I don't know, man. This is a hard one. This is a toss up for me. I'm going. Man, Raquel did not look good in her last fight, but she does have a win over Irene Aldana, and Irene is going to be fighting Holly, and I think Irene has a really good chance in that fight. So, like, she's not bad, but it's just like I don't know, man. She has problems sometimes, man, and it frustrates me seeing her, go through these kind of things, man. And I don't know, man. It is interesting. Um, But and she did not look good against Holly, so I don't know, man. This is a hard one for me. I'm gonna go Manu Reneau. I think she's gonna get her. I think just her lack of activity in that last fight, man. She just did not look good, man. Um, then you got Josh Emmett, next up, versus Shane Burgos, man. This is a fucking great fight, man. These cats have a lot of potential to be champions. Josh Emmett is a former top five guy, man, and the question was how is he gonna bounce back from that Jeremy Stevens loss? He fights Michael Johnson, and he didn't he just Michael was out hustling him. You could see the veteran skills that Michael Johnson had in their fight, and he was just playing with him, just jabbing, 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 you know, enjoying the fight, kind of playing around, laughing at him, joking around, and Josh for the life of me, it was like, man, I don't know about this kid. And the last minute of that fight, he fucking knocks out Michael Johnson, and there he comes back. Josh is very explosive. Man, he's the hardest hitter at featherweight. No one talks about him like they used to. After the Jeremy Stevens loss, the hype around him kind of died down. But his knockout of Ricardo Lamas was crazy. And then his performance against Mishar Bektik, that doesn't get no noise too, was a really impressive victory, man. Not a lot of people can finish Mishar, man. You gotta like that. There's not a lot of people that can do that to him. But Shane, he's had his loss, right? Um, and maybe he was pushed a little too heavy when they were gonna fight in Orlando, I think, against Jeremy, and they were giving him like prospect of the year, or he was in the top five prospects or top five guys to get a title shot, something like that. I remember was it like 2018 or 17, and now he's come back from that injury, and I think you know we're gonna see the best version of Josh Emmett. Now, vice versa, we got Shane Burgos, kind of similar road. Had a terrible loss to Calvin Kattar. Didn't do too bad. I don't think he did terrible. You could really compare it to the Jeremy Stevens performance that Calvin Kattar did. A lot of good pressure. For Shane, went to the body a lot, but hands were super low and was always getting clipped with an uppercut. You seen it a mile away, and he was just, he was waiting for him, waiting for him, and he fucking clipped him and got him. And then after that, he fights Charles Rosa, Cub Swanson, and Amelie Collie Warren or whatever his name is. And Shane, has looked on fire. Both guys, very offensive. In this fight for Shane, I'm a big fan of Shane, but I'm gonna say that right now. I think he's a really nice guy too. Um, I think Shane is gonna really have to work on his defense in that first round, and just attack that body, man. We haven't really seen Josh Emmett We've seen him deal with adversity in the Michael Johnson fight, and we've seen him deal with adversity in the Jeremy Stevens fight. And I think for Shane, he attacks that body, and but he gets hit a lot. He doesn't get hit a lot. He keeps his hands really low, and uses a lot of movement and head movement and stuff like that. So, and I'd say Shane's the second or third best boxer in the division, man. I really do think that, you know. But I think what Shane can do, um, in the fight if he attacks the body, um, he can get like a late finish, man. The guy's a grinder, man, if I've ever seen one. So it's really going to be endurance versus power in this fight. I think this is where it's going to come down to. And I'm going Shane Burgos, man. I'm going with my boy. But this can go either way. Both guys, top of the food chain, fucking featherweight. This could potentially be down the line if they never fought a featherweight title fight, man. This is how highly I regard these fighters, man. Josh Emmett can finish anyone, and fucking Shane Burgos can work anyone and make them quit. This is a great fight. Whoever wins, I'm not mad at it. But next we got the main event: Curtis Blaydes versus Alexander Volkov. Man, I'm not the biggest fan of Curtis Blaydes. So let me say that. I'm a Volkov guy, man. Volkov, and this is coming. I'm a wrestler too. I have a wrestling background. Usually I support my wrestlers, but Curtis, I know out of all the Division III guys, the JUCO wrestlers, community college, whatever you want to call it, that come into MMA, you notice they have the best ability to evolve, because they didn't do so great in college for wrestling, and their ability to evolve in MMA, because they don't have this perspective of, I need to only use my wrestling, that they haven't been that good in wrestling, so they learn more tools and they get better in different tools. Look at Kevin Lee, Division II wrestler, as a striker, he's evolved greatly. Tony Ferguson, same thing, Division II. Cody Stanman, Division II, same thing. I think Justin Gaethje was Division I, but who else am I thinking? I'm forgetting someone else. Aljamain Sterling, look at him, man. His jiu-jitsu's off the like crazy. John Jones, like all these cats, but then you see some of these great wrestlers, right? I can't think of off the top of my head, that have great credentials that just didn't evolve like they should have, or just couldn't, figure it out. But and I like Ben Askren, but I think Ben never was able to take the next step in MMA. You just can't be a wrestler anymore in this sport. And Curtis isn't that, I will say that, but Curtis, I don't see no evolution in his wrestling. He hasn't gotten better. I think the only improvement I can see is his striking. He's starting to realize he has power. In the Junior Dos Santos fight, even though he went 0 for 8, I think, in takedowns, or takedown attempts, or whatever you want to call the stat, right? The guy was not getting takedowns. Now he adjusted to the adversity, and he's seen that he had the threat of the takedown, and he had that advantage in Junior Dos Santos' mind, right? And he just, Junior was expecting a takedown, so that's why he was going for that rear uppercut, and he did a beautiful cross counter with his right hand, and he got him good, and he was able to finish him in the second round, right? So that's improving, right? His striking is improving, but it's not improving to like a crazy amount. I can see this fight going to a decision for Curtis, and I could see a late TKO finish for Alexander Volkov. Volkov got that dog in him, man. We haven't seen it in the Greg Hardy fight, and he made one mistake against Derek Lewis, and he got caught. But when you look at that Verdum fight, yes, Verdum hasn't looked the best, right, losing to Olnick. But you look at what let me fucking tell these guys to shut up. But let me go back. All right, sorry about that. You look at what Volkov was able to accomplish in that fight. It was amazing. You know, the way he was able to deal with adversity of the grappling and adjust, obviously, and, you know, was able to finish Verdun. I think Volkov still got that dog in him to replicate that. Obviously, you're going to deal with someone with a more explosive wrestler. Curtis has the record for the most takedowns in the division, obviously. So it is something interesting. But, you know, you never know, obviously. You never know with these fights. But I'm going to go um, Alexander Volkov. I think if Alexander knows what championship rounds feels like. Curtis doesn't. So I think, if Alexander can get it to those fourth and fifth rounds and put that pressure on Curtis, and he does great forward pressure, I think he can win this fight. I really do. I really, or you could get an early stoppage over Curtis. Man, Curtis, uh, I don't know. I'm not a believer. He's good, but I'm not a believer. But all right, man. Those are my uh, predictions. I hope you guys enjoy this video. Tell me if you guys like the change. If you don't, I'll go back to showing my ugly face or whatever. But like, comment, subscribe, do all that stuff. And yeah, thank you. See y'all.